So this will be your last assignment for this week, and it'll tie up some of the stuff that we've been doing here in Soundtrap. Next week, you're going to get a video on tuning your instrument for those of you that had it, that have it, and we're going to be going into some stuff that you can play along with and things like that. So if you haven't completed these assignments, there's only 3 of them, this being the 3rd, and I really encourage you to go ahead and complete them. For those of you that have already sent in your completed assignments, just make sure you export as MP3 and upload it so I can hear it. Now, what you'll actually notice, Anthony went ahead and shared his project with me, so I can actually download it off of here, and that works just fine. So, Anthony, if you got my message, I can't remember if I sent you a message because you didn't share it or not. But if you want to share it with me on here too, that's fine. Just make sure I can listen to it. That's the point. All right, guys. So we're going to go into Soundtrap and we're going to enter Studio. So today's lesson is going to be on harmony. We're going to build off of what we did last time, okay? So you're going to hit music. You're going to go to new track. And let's play with some synth today. Now, for those of you that don't know what a synth is, it is an artificial sound. It is a sound created by a machine, which ironically, all these sounds are made by machines because, well, it's being made by your computer. But the synthesizer works off of electronics, so you can actually buy a synthesizer that's not just software, and lots of producers covet these. Most of your more famous hip-hop artists heavily use synthesized sounds. So what I want you to do, you don't have to stick with the Flutter Wave, okay? Flutter Wave sounds kind of retro 80s, so you can go to anything you want. You can either select, and this works for all the instruments, by the way. You can either select your sound by pressing these arrows, right? Or you can just click right in the middle of it, and every instrument you can actually change. So if you don't want synth and you want to go to something else, you can do that. But if you're going to stay with synth, which we are for this, you can actually hear a sample of someone else playing it before you even play it, right? So what does Pump Bird sound like? All right, maybe not Pump Bird. All right, so a lot of these are kind of trash. Ooh, leads. By the way, leads are a classification of synth sounds that, if you remember back to the beginning of 6th grade, the lead singer is the violin, right? Well, why is a violin the lead singer? Because the violin has the highest pitch sound, and lead synths have the highest pitch sound. What does Crybaby sound like? Maybe not. That sounds neat. I'm kind of wasting all my time picking one. We'll just stick with this. Hey, why not? Jeepers. Let's do leadish. I don't know. I don't like any of these. I'm just going to pick this. Bad choice. Oh, well. All right, so I'm going to change. Ooh, I can't change the app. Let's do this. There we go. Okay, so I'm using my keyboard, but obviously you can just click right here. Like we talked about last time, just as a review, the square is the keyboard. If you want to play off your keyboard, the note is written right here, right? And if you don't know what a note is, you can simply click and it'll show you like that's a D. And we're actually going to do a C major scale again. So if you remember, we'll go here to record, and I'm just gonna click a C major scale. But this time I'll do it with my keyboard. All right, so this will be the first thing that you do. 1, 2, ready, and oh. So my metronome wasn't on. If you go down here, if your metronome's off, make sure it's on. Mine was just off. Let's try that again. 1, 2, ready, and if you'll notice, mine actually got off a little bit, so I can actually click and drag this and make it go all the way back to the beginning. Same thing as always. Right click, and oops, never mind. You're going to double click, go here, highlight it, right click, quantize, oof, right there. And it lines it back up for you, okay? All right, now that we have this, Remember, we're doing it in whole notes, so 4 clicks per note. We'll go to new track, and let's do another synthesizer. I'm just gonna eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What the heck's young lead? Let's do Wonder Lead. Hey, all right. So we're gonna talk about harmonies today. Okay. So we did C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We went up the C major scale by clicking all of the white keys. Again, this is a review from last lesson. Now, if you remember what a round is where another person starts playing a little bit later. This is kind of like a round, but instead of waiting, we're going to go ahead and start 3 notes up. Now, we started here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and this is an E. If we play E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, we will go up in something called thirds, okay? And a third is the most basic way you can harmonize something, and you'll hear what the harmony sounds like. So with your separate synthesizer, making sure your metronome's on, you're going to press record, and we're going to make this harmony. You're just going to go up the white keys. Instead of starting with C2 or C3, wherever you started, we're going to start with C, D, E. We're going to start with E. All right, here we go. Oops. 1, 2, ready, and. And of course, I made a mistake. All right, but that's okay. Again, if you double click this thing, you can go and click it and press delete and get rid of all the ones that messed up. So yeah, again, right click, quantize, 1 to 1. And you can even expand them out if you are meticulous and want them to be exactly as long as the other ones. But if I go ahead and play this, you'll hear harmony. Right? We're going to do another one. All right, so go back to your synthesizer and we'll just do this. Why not? All right, so we are going to build off of that harmony another way. So instead of one voice starting with C, another voice starting with E, we're actually going to start with G. So we have one voice starting here, one voice starting here, one voice starting here. And if you, again, I wish I could finish out the year with you 6th graders. But I know in 7th and 8th grade, we've worked on arpeggios. You understand what an arpeggio is. We've done ear training with arpeggios. But in 6th grade, I'm pretty sure I showed you what an arpeggio is. But an arpeggio is the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and octave of a scale. But if you play an arpeggio all together, you get chords. Right? So, and that's how, a pianist would make music. So we're going to manually type in the 5th interval of this arpeggio. So again, one's doing this, one's doing this, one's doing this. We're just going to go up each. And you'll hear a harmony. All right, so again, we're going to record. 1, 2, ready, and. All right, now you have an ascending triad thing. So you're going to right click and you're going to press quantize again. Make sure it's all nice and neat. You have ascending chords. Right? Now, it sounds rather boring just going up this way, okay? So what I want you to do is to go ahead and do this, but over here, we're going to click on measure 9. So these are your measures actually. We're going to click on measure 9, and what I want you to do is to play around and try to keep track of the note that you're starting with, right? So instead of starting with, in fact, what we'll do is we'll go back here, and you see to select the instrument that you want, you click up here, but the piano roll isn't really helpful a lot of the times. So you'll click instrument, and that will actually show you what's going on. So again, we clicked here, then we clicked instrument, and start back at the first instrument that you have on measure 9. And what I want you to do is to just come up with some random notes, but keep track. So in fact, let's not even make it random. Let's start with a G. Okay, so you're going to go G, A, F, G, then C. Okay. So that's your progression. I'm going to start it. Again, make sure this is armed. Go down here and press record. Now, if you notice, when I went to record, it actually started back here. That's because it always gives you 2 measures, but it will actually play the 2 measures first, and then you'll play. So don't let that freak you out. Again, once you do it, double click on it, highlight, right click, quantize, 1-to-1. All right, so if you remember, we went G, A, F, G, C, right? So we're going to go down here to Wonder Lead, or the second instrument that you have. Make sure that you press instrument so you can see. Now, instead of starting with G, we're going to go B. We're going to go B, C, A, B, then we're going to go E. Okay? So again, start with B. All right, here we go. Now, if this is confusing, by the way, again, just keep this up in your browser and you can keep going. That's why I make these videos. You can keep going back and looking at what I did, okay? And of course, I'll go back and review. So if this is overwhelming, I'm sorry. I'm going to make this due Monday, so it gives you the weekend to kind of play around with it, but try to get it done Friday. All right, so again, highlight, right click, quantize, 1-to-1. All right, so we have these thirds stacked up. So we're going to go to our third instrument. Make sure this is highlighted. Click instrument. Just to review, we started on the first one going G, A, F, G, C, right? And then the second instrument went B, C, A, B, E, right? So we're going up in thirds. So instead of B, we're gonna go D. We're gonna go D, E, C, D, G. Okay. Again, click here at 9. Get on record. Yay, harmony. Again, double click, highlight, right click, quantize, 1-to-1. Now, what we actually have is we have a chord progression here. I'm not going to make you worry about what it is, but if you notice, I mean, we're just going up the scale and then we're ending with this nice progression. So you have this operating as the root note or the beginning of the chord. This is the third of the chord, and this is the fifth of the chord. So if we were to play it all together, it would be... oh, hold on. Ugh. Okay, again, just to show you. And that's what you could play if you were a pianist just playing basic triads. But because we operate on our string instruments, imagine you could actually play your instrument these notes, right? And you could stack these notes and create harmony. So it's like three of you playing. So this isn't to freak you out, but this is the beginning of us understanding the possibilities for why it might be cool to record our own music. Because again, if you have your instrument at home and we can start to understand how we stack notes to make chords and harmonies. Once you start recording your instrument, you can create those harmonies on your instrument and you'll sound like a whole orchestra at home, right? And you can post your music, and this is just the beginning. So here is the entire thing that you'll submit. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Go ahead and have fun with this and see what you can make on your own. If you finish this assignment and you really want to take off and record your own music, if you understand this and you want to go forward and record something, it doesn't matter if it's not assigned to you. I will listen to whatever you send me. And especially if you want feedback, I'll definitely talk with you. And we can even share a session if you, again, I'll take you back to the beginning. We'll save changes. Again, this will save your project so you can come back to it. You don't have to do it all in one go. But if you want to share something with me, I will definitely take a look at it with you, and I can even work on it with you. So don't feel afraid to ask questions if this is confusing or anything. All right, guys, this video's been long enough. Again, if you're confused by something, just go back and look at it and don't stress too much about it. All right, guys. Take care and have fun.